we've seen some surprising things in the news, and some things are not so surprising. In the not so surprising category, we have a piece of news today that I find surprising. A little word of introduction. You know about C.S. Lewis's trilemma: liar, lunatic, or Lord. It was an argument for Christianity, specifically the divinity of the Big J. And of course, it's not considered like one of the strongest arguments out there, even by, let's say, heavy-hitting Christian theologians, because it's weak on Bible, and also because it might have been even a false trilemma. Yeah, a false dilemma means I give you one of two options. It only be this or that. Well, what if it's the third option? And the trilemma is it can only be one of these three, but it doesn't take into account other possibilities. So that's why it's a false trilemma. Yeah. So we're not going to discuss Christianity tonight, but we are going to say that when it comes to Netanyahu reacting to what happened today, we have a little bit of dilemma. Either he's a liar or he's a lunatic. What did he write? What did he say? It was here. I'll use the Slimes of Israel report. Chaotic scene in Khan Yunis of the 7 released hostages who were pushed and shoved by an angry mob as they're handed over to the Red Cross. Unacceptable. Excuse me. Quote, I view with great severity the shocking scenes during the release of our hostages. This is further proof of the unimaginable cruelty of the Hamas terrorist organization. And it says he also said, I demand the negotiators ensure that such horrific scenes do not occur again and to guarantee the safety of our hostages. Now, Netanyahu is the man the most responsible for these hostage releases and basically surrendering everything to Hamas, both this time and the last time and the time before that, up to the Shalit deal and even before that. He's the one who has emboldened them. And it's because he's doing this, he gave them everything. So if he's sort of shocked, oh, great severity, shocking scenes, and I demand the negotiators do something, maybe you shouldn't give the most evil people on earth, the descendants of Haman and Hitler and the rest of them, everything that they want and give in to all their demands. So I think he's just a liar. But as for those other people, let's say among Jews, who believe that perhaps they said it incredulously, how could this happen? They're lunatics for believing this would not happen. You're just lucky they're not dead. And like you said, well, we'll get back to this a little bit more. There was a prominent rabbi who is supposed to know a lot about these and other issues, writes about them. I think he took it off his Facebook page because now he can't find it, where he was also incredulous. Oh, how could this happen? And everybody responded to him, because that's what happens when you give in to the most murderous people on earth. Yeah, don't be surprised. If you're surprised by this, you're out of your mind. Yeah, so that's a problem. And then we have a bunch of rabbis, apparently. Rabbis like to sign letters. So this is by rabbis in the religious Zionist community, a bunch of prominent rabbis. This one is from Israel National News, demanding that he be true to his commitment, that the prime minister keep up the fight against Hamas. We are not privy to the details of the deal, but what appears to be the direction of the deal is a capitulation to Hamas's terms. We expect to be true to your commitment to decisively defeat and destroy Hamas, to eliminate its army and its rule, and to remove any threat from Gaza. And the signatories, Rabbi Kalmanson, Rabbi Manovitz, Rabbi Eli Sadeh, Yossi Weitzen, Hanan Esrog, some others. Okay, not the usual ones that I know of or from whom I have studied. I'm not going to belittle them. I'm just going to say that I think that they're barking up the wrong tree. There's no way that the prime minister will listen, and from their deeds shall you know them. If you see this way is going, there never was an intention to destroy Hamas. That's just something they say to make certain people happy. And then a few days later, you realize, oh, that never was the intention all along, as we've been trying to say since the first week, nothing happened. Okay, go back. There's no intention. There's all intention to try to restore things to the way they were the day before Shmini Atzeres. They want to go back to Hoshana Rabbah. They want it to be October 6th, for those of us who don't use the Jewish calendar. That's what they want it to be. And they're trying with all they can, with all their might, and with all your blood and all your money to bring it back and set it up so that they could do it once again. Surprising thing. this thing we saw. Should have realized this earlier. I don't live in the Gush. Occasionally, you take the road south of Jerusalem to the Gush. Those are massive tunnels they built. Two ways. There's how many pairs of tunnels are there? I wasn't counting. I'm usually driving, but those are real major projects. The north side of the city also has major tunnels. I forget. There's one along the Beacon, I think, or Route One, whatever it might be. And in the last few decades, there's been major excavations. There's a new highway, Route 16, which basically goes from the south side of the city in the center, and it goes under what's basically Givat Shaul and the Ramot area, and then heads to Route 1 westbound to Tel Aviv. That Route 16 is also under it is a major tunnel, two-way tunnel. I think at least 4 lanes of traffic in the tunnels there. It's quite a feat of engineering. There's also a major tunnel going on that has been commissioned by the Chevra Kadisha, a burial tunnel, basically a gigantic underground mausoleum in as like Mishnaic style. So used in Mishnaic times, bury everybody underground in tunnels. And there's a major tunnel that's been dug. It's now used by the train from Jerusalem to Tel Aviv. So these are all major tunnels. Who dug those tunnels? Well, it wasn't Jewish guys with yarmulkes like me. Yeah, there may be some foremen like that, but the grunt work was done by you-know-whos. So we should not be surprised if those you-know-whos took their skills and perhaps even the same equipment and used it to dig all those tunnels under Gaza. Was anybody actually surprised when they say, look, we found a major tunnel that goes from Egypt right into Gaza, and you could get a few trucks in through this tunnel? Well, duh. And I had asked before, did anybody notice all the sand piling up? You know, if for the Great Escaper, Andy Dufresne, just to get out of prison, has to find a way to hide all that dirt that he's digging out. How did the Ishmaelites and the Amalekites do it? Oh, okay. And now it turned out there was some people broke the story this week. Turns out they know it. Israelis brought the sand off of them and all the rest of the dirt they were digging up. Why sand necessarily? If you're digging around Jerusalem, it's a lot of bedrock there. You're going to get dirt, but mostly rock. Closer to the coast, you're going to get a lot of sand. Okay, so they used the sand in construction here in Israel. They bought it dirt cheap, pun intended. And now you know what happened. Great. So if you still are naive enough to believe that those in charge have the Jewish people's best interests at heart, which include strengthening the Yishuv, the expansion of Jewish territory, the solidification of what we already hold, and the preservation of Jewish life, then, well, I guess we have a bridge to sell you and a few tunnels too. Yeah, unfortunate truth. So protect yourself. Al tivtechu v'indivim. We said a brach on this already.